Hey, thank y'all for tuning in for another segment of Artist Empowerment. I'm your host, Strick Nine Karari. Hey, look here. We got a pioneer from the ATL in the house, man. Look here. Pioneer. Believe that. Samuel Haygood, keyboard player, man, for SOS Band, and another other groups he's been with. And then he also is producer out this world, man. I'm talking about when I mean produce, he produced, man. A lot of people make sounds, he actually produces. So this segment right here, man, is going to be some knowledge, man, for individuals that's trying to get into the production field, man. Hopefully this show right here will be empowering for you on today. Hey, furthermore, we're going to bring in my man Samuel Haygood. What's up? What's up, my
Man, what's happening, man?
another day, man. How you doing?
You know I sound like your brother. What's happening, man?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Hey, but hey,
Yo,
y'all been, thick of thieves from back in the day though. So,
man, let me tell you something. That's all it's been, man. Music all our lives.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Ain't nothing like that music, man. And that's why I appreciate you coming on the show today, man. I really appreciate you, taking out your time and everything, man, to come on the show. Tell us a
Yes,
little bit
sir.
about your background, about, how old you was, when you got in the field, a little background about yourself.
I got you. I got you. Well, man, I started in the business professionally at the age of 14. And how I got in the music business was my mom worked for James Brown. And she worked for him. And I went out as a young man watching all that excitement on the stage from Mr. Brown, and it inspired me. And to the point, I was actually playing sports, but man, once I seen that, it was like sports went out of the back of my head, and the next thing I know, I wanted to be in the music business. And I started
I
out
got
playing saxophone, and
you.
got a chance from some guys in the neighborhood had a little band that they were working with. They called me over and say, "Hey man, we're looking for a sax player." So I went in audition. Make a fast, a long story short, pretty much I auditioned for that band and made it. And then the guy who owned the band said, "Hey man, I got some shows I done booked." And I said, "Well man, I can't do nothing without you talking to my mama." Cause mama at that time was the one that was running things, you know what I'm saying? Cause I was still a kid, man. So, moving on down the road, he made her the assistant manager of his band. So that was how I able to start my professional career, because she was out on the road pretty much chaperoning me and doing a little extra stuff to help the band that I was playing with at the time. And man, I did that and came on through the pipeline of learning the experience of the business, and from there, then start pretty much trying to move on with the career. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make escalations and going up the ladder of doing bigger and better things where I can really make some money and make a living. And a footnote, man, that's all I did is music. And that's a blessing and a wonderful thing. But I had been around a lot of OGs that taught me the ropes on how to survive in this business, because it's an up and down road for anybody that want to get in this business. Sometimes you can't pay your rent. Sometimes you got to go and pawn stuff. So I done been there. I done did it all. You know what I'm saying? To the point where we call it survival. But if you really want to do something, you're going to put your mind to it and you're going to make it happen. And then, of course, you got to be tested with the higher powers. And that's, of course, God. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And so, with all that, man, and with God putting his hand on me and covering me, I've been protected. I've seen a lot of things in the business, but I always knew what a curveball was, and I'd keep on moving. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
got you. I
so,
got you.
I've been in the business now, man. Shoot, I'm like 61, bro. So we talking about 14 years old. Now I'm 61. You know what I'm saying? And I still
Wow.
love doing music, and I love doing production. So you was mentioning that I was with the SOS band. Not now. I'm not with them, but this was during the 2000s. Uh, worked with the band for about maybe 2 or 3 years, and then when Babyface in LA moved to Atlanta, I had the opportunity of working with pretty much everybody that was on the label that was hot at the time. Usher, TLC, Tony Braxton, Outkast, worked with them, worked with Goody Mob. So, the list goes on, and that was a lot of experience and a lot of love. We were all coming from nothing and trying to build something. You know what I'm saying? And all them cats are still, you know, doing their thing, man. And I'm so happy for them. I came off the road and started doing production, and got caught up in production by working, booking time with some of the studios around in Atlanta. And I said, well, I'm gonna get me a 2-in-1 deal. I'm gonna pay for the studio time, but while I pay for that studio time, I'm gonna sit up under the engineer. And while I'm sitting up under the engineer, I'm gonna learn everything I can learn. And that's how I got into the production side and the engineering side. You know what I'm saying? So my money was well spent. You know what I'm saying,
That's
Dre?
real. Well spent,
You
man. You
know,
invested into yourself, and it got you somewhere.
yes, sir. And then I went in and and record in the studio, but I get behind the console and sit there and watch the engineer and figure out how he was making that stuff sound so good, man. I said, man, how you
Right.
do this? How you do that? And that's how, you know what I'm saying? That's how I got on point on what I needed to do. And then of course, doing now we talking about now Dre, we ain't talking about no computers, bro. We talking about 2-inch tape. We talking about
Oh,
we talking about you see what I'm saying? We talking about
right.
2-inch tape with an SSL console. For those that's on the same point of being in the studio during that era, and they still, of course, the SSL console is still around, but now you got a lot of people that are doing recording in their homes and coming out with good music and being able to do that because there's so much information now on YouTube that you can learn. So anybody can do this if you put your mind to it and you understand the concepts of how to work stuff. But I would advise anybody that want to get in this business, learn the business part. You heard what I said? Learn the business part first. That's why you have so many starving people that been in this business and been burnt because they didn't know the business. They wanted it, but they didn't understand. And that's the whole, it's just like real estate. You can't invest into a home until you understand the real estate business so you can understand how to multiply your money. So that's how it is in this business. So you got to take ownership and know what you own and what's supposed to be yours and what's not. You know what I mean?
That's so real, and that's real, man. And for you, your up and coming producers out there, and I hope you actually took heed to what he was saying. And one of the things that rung a bell with me when he said that he found someone to get under. He found it was an engineer. He set up under the engineer, and he learned everything what the engineer knew, and he was able to apply it to his skills and qualifications that what he knew. So that's one thing that y'all, some of y'all, I encourage y'all to do because I'm gonna be honest with you though. A lot of y'all have talent, but the sound you don't have an ear. I hear a lot of music. The mixing is off. The sound rhythm is off. And I and this here, you got to start from somewhere. Okay. So if you find somewhere to start from, just learn how to perfect it. Don't if that's your craft, that means that's your baby. So you need to make sure that you're not going to be the best in the beginning, but you over time you should perfect that to become the best. That's the only thing that I'm trying to say. So man, that knowledge, man, I really do I really do. We're getting ready to work on having some things down now, little spot. I don't know if I told you about the place down the treehouse, down on Flat Shoals Avenue. So, I want to
Mm-hmm.
try to work on doing some things now. Now, nice little club, man. You got to come through, check it out. I just like it. It's going to be a laid back vibe. Also, man, we're going to have a number of talent and stuff to come through there. So,
Mm-hmm.
for any, up and coming artists, if you want to have exposure, you want to be, have your performance recorded, just stay tuned, for details. We're working on that soon, and we're going to, set it up so up and coming artists to have a platform, to come down now, on the show. So I'm looking forward to that. I really am, man. Hey, man, look, I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you coming through, man. But let me ask you something, man.
Yes, sir.
Any projects that you're working on? Like artists, do you have any artists, or do you have any individual projects that you're working on at this moment?
So actually, what I'm doing is I'm doing more engineering than producing now.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I'm an engineer and a producer. So I get a lot of cleanup work where people record music. They need their stuff mastered. They need it mixed. And what they do is they call me and send files to me through we send it Dropbox or something like that. Drop the files to me, and then I clean up everything and make everything radio ready. Radio ready for them to put out and stream and go straight to the radio. So
That's real.
I've
That's
been doing a lot of that lately because, like I said, I mentioned before that you have a lot of people now have studios in their home, you know,
real.
and they able to record the music, but then they're not really technical savvy, I would say, on mixing music. So that's a whole nother thing. And you in order to put anything out, it's got to be presentable, it's got to sound good, and it's got to be radio ready for them to want to play it.
So with
Yeah.
the mixing, let me ask you a question. Now, as a producer, um,
Hmm.
what is the reason why some producers is good at mixing and some producers are not?
Well, cause they jump start. They learn how to record, and then that's what they really all they good at. They just want to record their music. But putting it together and putting it in that pot and mixing it up, putting them seasonings on it, that's a whole nother thing. And if you don't have the ear per se to have the frequencies where they should be, like most of the time, I hear a lot of cats that record everything be bass heavy, and that's because they're in a studio in their home. The room is not treated. So you having bass moving everywhere. So they thinking that they got to add more bass because they're not hearing the bass. That's because the room is not treated. You know what I'm saying? When you have a professional studio you go in, as you notice, there's no corners. They
Mhm.
got bass traps. So that's what traps the bass so you can hear it. So when you hearing something, then you know how much bass to put on it. That's one of the hardest things to pretty much to me when I started mixing is bass because bass frequencies is demanding and they want to take all that space in the frequencies. So you got to figure out how to put that bass in there where it's kicking and everything is pronounced and you can feel the music. Then after you get that bass and them drums popping like you want to, then from that point, then you work everything else. The icing's on the cake. That's just like you're gonna have the cake and then you're gonna throw that icing on it. And that's the other instruments. You know what I mean? So that's the thing that me starting out, I had to work with a lot. And I just noticed a lot of coming up producers, that's where they had a problem trying to get that bass to sound right. Especially with a lot of hip hop music, because you're using 808 kick drums and then you're trying to use bass synthesizers. So all that is in the same frequency response. So therefore, you got to figure out how to make both of them work together in those frequencies.
Wow,
Now that's
that's a
top
lot.
knowledge there. Now I'm giving away some top knowledge there, man. That's what you had to go to school and get now.
Yeah,
I've
that's what
been
I'm
trying to
talking
tell
about,
you.
man. Yeah. Yeah, and I hope y'all, heard that. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what this show is all about. Artist empowerment, trying to help, the up and coming artists, develop
Right,
yourself. And, one thing too that for any artist, always be in a position to accept criticism. You know,
absolutely.
don't get offended. Don't always think just because you feel that you made a hit track that it's a hit track, because, there's a lot of times, when you have professionals, right? You cannot tell a professional what to do when they're the professional, so take advice, pay your dues, and then one day you'll be that one who's the professional being giving advice to other individuals. So, man, I appreciate you, man, coming on the
Let me
show today. I really do, man. It was a blessing, man. We got to have you back on here. Maybe we need to try to get together some form of production workshop or something like that.
let me say this before I forget it, Drake. Let
Right.
me say this, man. See,
Hmm.
because I had that thought in my mind. You were saying that, but one thing that I've learned, you got to always stay attentive to want to learn. If you stop learning, then that means you done lost the game. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay in your playbook in this music business. And that's the business part. If you're going to be an engineer, keep on learning. Keep on learning. You never stop learning. You never stop learning. I'm still learning. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So, because everything, technology changes, look, like every day, man.
Right.
I remember,
They
like I
do.
was telling you, 2 inch. I was telling you 2 inch tape and an SSL console. Now we on computers. You understand? So now you can
Right.
do everything in the computer. You can mix a record. You can master a record in the computer without even being on an SSL, man. And that's called recording and mixing in the box. That means just right there on your computer. But you got to be, like I say, you got to have the room treated, and you got to have the right type of plugins. You got to know what you're working with, and to know how to get that sound out of that box.
Right.
And
It's
it
all
takes a
good.
long time to get that, but let me tell you something. Once you do that, you save yourself a lot of money, because then that means you could do everything in the box. And then I've heard people say, "Hey, man, I mix on headphones. Headphones are cool, but
Hmm.
you still need to hear what it's gonna sound like if you hit the club with it. Ain't nobody got no headphones in the club. You understand? So
That's
you
true.
still got to see, yeah. So you got to still be able to hear it, and not taking nothing away from mixing in the headphones. I think you get listening and mixing in the headphones will get you to a great reference point, but you still need to hear it on some speakers. Even in your car. Cause you could listen to it in the studio and then go to the car and they sound totally different. That's cause it
Yep.
ain't mixed right.
Yeah, that's right. They ain't mixed right. Yeah, that mixing,
And
man.
then I'm
Very
gonna go a little further. Hey, I'm gonna go a little further than that. Listen to it
uh
on a little small. Listen to it on a small Bluetooth speaker. If you can hear everything in that little speaker, then you pretty much almost 100% right where you need to be. If you can hear all the instruments, you can hear them vocals, you can hear the drums popping in that little small little speaker, and then that means, hey, you up to something. And see, that's what I had to do. Yeah, man, I had to
yeah.
do that. Cause see, when a person play the record, they might play it in their car, they might play it on a Bluetooth speaker, a boom box, it might be
Mhm.
in the club. So
Right.
so all those frequencies have to be where they need to be. So in any type of environment that you put it in, it gonna sound good.
Hey, man, I learned
That's a
something
lot.
today.
Hey man, that's a lot of stuff to put on somebody's head, but man, that's where you be at.
Yeah,
And if you want to do
yeah, that's
this and really
real.
do it, that's what's up. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
what I'm talking about. See, that's when you know you're rocking with a professional, man. And see, that's the only way that you're gonna be able to make it. You cannot hang around people who's on the same level that you are. You gotta hang with people who are on a higher level than you are, so you can obtain the knowledge that you need to be on that level.
Absolutely.
So Yeah, so that's a blessing, man.
Absolutely,
And,
man.
and man, hey man, I appreciate your time. Coming on the show, I greatly do. We got to have you back, man,
Hey,
and we
Dre,
need to try to work on
Dre,
something
Dre,
again,
Dre,
my
Dre,
coach.
man, you family, man. Come on, man.
We
I got to
fam, you
make
already
time for
know.
you, man.
That's
I got to
all
make
good,
time for
fam.
you, bro.
Hey, we got to work. We got some more stuff we got to work on anyway, man. New songs
Oh yeah, man. You got
we
to
gonna
tell,
work
hey,
on.
you got to tell them about that heat you already got, man.
Ah,
You got to tell them, hey, I'm interviewing you now. You got to tell them about that heat, man, coming out, man.
oh
I
yeah,
think
hey
you
man,
already
got
got
some
it
heat
out.
coming
It's
out,
already
man.
released,
Yeah.
man.
Hey, I got that heat
Yeah.
coming out, man. Yeah, learn how to fight. Y'all gonna love that song, man. Learn how to fight, man. Anything that I do, I always just like to encourage and empower people. So when I create a song, I'm a comedian too. I like to, cut up and act crazy. Y'all might have seen me on the football comedy show with the great wig on, Greg Davis, man. So I like to cut up, I like to act crazy, man. So you're gonna always catch me, trying to make people laugh and enjoying life, man, because see, um, the reason why I do that is because I understand how difficult life can be sometimes, and we can forget how to laugh. So we got to
Need to
always
laugh, bro.
have that point in our life that laugh. That laughter brings energy and rejuvenate you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, man. Shoot, hey man, I love you, bro, and man, I
Yes,
appreciate you,
sir.
man, and everything, man, and shoot, man, we're gonna get up, all right?
All right, we're gonna get up, man. Put me back on this show soon, man, because we gonna keep these folks in line, man. We're gonna make sure they do the right thing, man.
All right,
I'm
that for
down with
sure. Hey, and then also, before we roll out, man, let them know where they can find you at on social media, man. What's your IG link?
oh man, that's all they can do is just go to my Instagram, NDA Groove. But see it now I'm gonna tell you, I do production. I'm a musician, so I got my own band too. So even if you need me to come and play in the backyard, man, I come up in there and I do it. You know what I'm
That
saying?
for sure,
So
boy.
hey, I'm wearing many hats, man. But you can find me on Instagram though, NDA Groove Band. And that's pretty much connected to my production, everything. Whatever you need me for, I'm there.
That's all good, man. Shoot, much love to you and the family, man, and you keep your head up, man.
All right, man. God bless, bro.
God bless. Hold it down.
All right now.
Peace. Hey, y'all, look, another segment, man, for the producers, for the, that's out there, man. Look, this show right here, sincerely, out of my heart, was created to help up and coming artists, and that's all I'm trying to do. Because I'm an artist myself, and I know how it is, man. When people get on their feet, they forget about you. They don't never want to reach the hand back and grab another person up with them because, hey, everybody's always worried about being the number one and the only one. And the only person that's in that position right there is God. You feel what I'm saying? So, hey, look here, man. I hope y'all learned something today, man. And just to drop a jewel on you before I go, man, I'm gonna piggyback on, what Sam was saying, man, and it's just real. You have to make sure that you stay passionate about everything that you do. Try to do whatever you can to try to become better person that you are. Whatever you're trying to do, take that time out to invest into yourself, and you will always be successful. But just like my nephew always told me, and it was funny, but I never got it, but I get it now. Whatever time that you invest into something, that's what you're gonna get out of it. So if you invest a lot of time into whatever you invested in, you're gonna be successful. If you invest a little bit of time into what you're doing and everything, you're not going to be successful. So whatever the amount of time that you put into something, man, that's what you're going to get out of it, man. Hey, look here. Thank y'all for tuning in once again for another segment of the Art Empowerment Show. I'm Strict Nine Karari. I'm signing out. Y'all keep y'all head up. See y'all next time right here on the Artist Empowerment Show. Peace.